Oh yeah. All right, friends. Friends, I feel like I'm returning to the scene of a crime. Friends, I had to come back out here. Last night I had a supernatural experience out here, and it was terrifying. Terrifying, friends. Friends, cemeteries don't scare me. I do not spook easily, friends. But something last night, friends, there was something out here, is what I'm explaining to you. It wasn't an animal. I'm certain it wasn't raccoons, friends. Hold on, we're gonna go out here, and I'm gonna do the best job I can to kind of recreate what I witnessed, everyone, and maybe there'll be some clues for us. All right, friends, here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna reenact it the same way it was last night. I'm gonna park the truck right where it was. Oh, Lord Jesus, please, Lord, forgive me. All right, that's cool. All right, everybody. Let me grab. Look, I got a new phone charger, baby. Hold on. Good Lord, help me. Okay, where's the little one at? Okay. All right, friends, hold on a second. Friends, let me see. What the hell's the name of this church? Oh, my ankle bracelet, everybody. I gotta sneak an ankle bracelet. Y'all know that. This is horrible. It's horrible, friends, but these are my problems. These are not your problems. All right, friends, hold on. Get on out of here. All right, friends, here's the cemetery. Now, I'm gonna grab my my gloves. Friends, I come out here and I clean. I love cleaning. Friends, I was cleaning last night. Hold on, let me just grab. Oh no, where's all my... Oh, they're over here. Hold on, everybody. Friends, I just saw a sign over there. This cemetery is 175 years old. 175 years old. They said they're celebrating 175 years. Friends, that's a long time. And that's a lot of people out here. Hold on now. Let me get my field shirt on. Hold on, everybody. Stand by. All right, everybody. Here we go. Okay. Friends, if y'all know where Shoot Shack is over here in I think it's called Alafaya. It's down 39. If you go to Lithia Pinecrest and hit 39, well, friends, you're gonna take it all the way. Oh, I didn't know. Friends, I just found out I got a little pocket right here. Friends, I went and bought new batteries for my Surefire light. Friends, my Surefire light was dying. That's the whole reason why I didn't go and explore what the hell it was. But look, friends, I got my trash bag just in case we... All right, friends, I got my trash bag, so if we find some trash, we'll just pick it up. All right, friends, I just got to give you the layout, all right? Turn this sucker around. Wait, hold on. Wrong button. All right, friends, check it out. Let's turn the camera around here. Friends, this is the church. This is the front of the church over there. Over there's Thatcher Park. It's a cool park, friends. I used to take my kids out here with my wife a couple times. Friends, I pulled in here. Then here's the cemetery in the back. And friends, it's very, very dark out here. There's a light on the light pole right there. And it's so funny because last night I was saying, oh, I wish the light wasn't on. Because friends, I was looking at all the stars. I had my truck parked right here, friends. And look, I was doing a little cleanup out here because all these flowers are dead. We got to take these flowers out. Look, friends, this is what I do. I did this last night, but I was terrified. I got the hell on out of here. Friends, see these flowers here? We're gonna pick them up before we leave. But these flowers they're deteriorated. So look, friends, I'm gonna recreate what happened last night. Now I wasn't skitting when I came out here. I was going to do a skit, but I decided to kind of wander. There's a bench over here. And friends, I cleaned the cemetery up last Saturday, a week ago. So friends, I'm just going to recreate what happened last night. I was walking. It was very dark out here, friends. It was about, I don't know, 9 o'clock at night, 8:39. And friends, it is dark out here. Look, friends, it's like a field. We're out in the middle of nowhere. Ooh. So friends, I got drawn to over here. There's that bench. And look, a lot of people had come out here and put flowers. Friends, I cleaned this. I did about 10, it was about 5 or 6 bags of trash that I collected out of here, from all the stuff that falls on the ground. And then I was straightening up my headstones. Y'all saw me, I was rocking out with the hot water music, and I was straightening up all the headstones. And friends, the devil hates that, because when you come out here and do nice things, the devil hates that, because it's healing for the families. Again, this is a 175-year-old cemetery. Those are some new flowers. So friends, I wander just like this. And look, friends, it's not disrespectful standing on this. I'm the caretaker out here. And there's little animal prints. Friends, they could have been animals, but what I'm saying is their eyes were glowing. They were still glowing when I took the light off of them. Oh my gosh! All right, now I'm getting freaked out now. So, all right, let's just do it, friends. So here's the bench. I was sitting on the bench, okay? Cool bench. So friends, I'm literally sitting on the bench, and I'm facing this way. I'm looking at all the stars, and it's pretty cool, huh? So friends, I'm sitting here, and I don't do live streams when I have a moment with Jesus. Friends, it's called mourning. You're mourning. I'm crying. I'm like, Lord, help me, Lord. I'm going through the worst hell of my life. My wife won't communicate with me. And in fact, she does the opposite of communicate. She punishes. And I don't understand why. Friends, I cannot figure out what the hell I did to this woman. Friends, I just can't figure it out. I thought I heard something over yonder. Friends, if y'all know what I did to this woman, someone tell me. Maybe it'll make my pain and suffering not as severe. Because I have separation from my children. I miss Christmas. I wasn't allowed to be around Christmas. I'm going to miss my son's birthday. His birthday's on the 3rd. And I'm not going to be with my son. And I know this lady loves to punish, so she's going to just tell the children, "Oh, your daddy's rotten. He abandoned us. That's why Arlene Waldron had to buy the van." Friends, I can't stand this damn evil. Y'all know what you did. But look, friends, I was sitting here, and this is someone's grave, you know. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm reflecting. That's what cemeteries are all about. You come out here and you reflect. And again, friends, I'm the man that came out here and cleaned all the trash and all the crap out of here. This place wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. I had literally about eight bags of trash, and I picked up all the headstones. So, friends, I'm sitting here. It's dark. It is so dark out here. There's a light over there, friends, and it's pretty bright, but over here it's just nothing but darkness. And I told you, there's the woods, and there's the field back over there. Friends, when I came here last Saturday, people throw all their flowers in the bushes over there. So, friends, I'm sitting here, and I was sitting here for about maybe 15 minutes, just crying, talking to Jesus, and just, you know, asking God, you know, help me understand this, Lord. I understand this is spiritual. I understand I'm being tested. And I don't think I asked Jesus to reveal himself, but friends, I think I might have. I said, Lord, will you reveal yourself to me? I need to understand why I'm going through this. I'm a mental health guy. But friends, it's all about having that faith. So friends, I'm just sitting here. It's dark, and I'm just having the most peaceful time. And I'm looking at all the stars. Look, friends, there's the moon. All right, friends, I'm sorry about my language. I'm just highly stressed. So, friends, look, I sat here for a while, and then I just started walking over this way. I was drawn over here, friends. Friends, you hear the guns going off a shoot shack? I'm not allowed to go over there, friends. I'll go to jail if I go over there and shoot a gun. Horrible, horrible people, friends. I can't believe this damn evil. So, friends, I'm walking over here because there was a light over here. Sometimes these people put the lights on the graves. And friends, I was just looking. I remember seeing the angel here, and I didn't have my Surefire. I had my red light on, friends. And then I'm kind of looking, and I went like this. I was looking at this grave, and for some reason, I thought of little Lukey, because in the war, he would always wear, at nighttime, he had one of the red lights, and that was kind of new back in 2005. We didn't really have those. So, friends, I'm about right here. And I looked over this way, and then something caught my attention over here, friends. And, friends, I looked back over here, and then I shined my light, and there was literally, friends, right about here, there was 3 glowing eyes, like on the ground. At first I thought raccoons. Hold on, I'm just gonna have to show you. Friends, I've never had anything like this happen to me in my life. That's lights. Let's see if this will work. Friends, I reenact stuff. That's how I was able to catch all the people at the Veterans Park. So, friends, I have my lamp on. It's super dark over here, and I'm just kind of looking. And I caught a glimpse over there, and then I start walking this way, and I'm like, wait. And I'm standing right about here, friends. And let me show you where these things were. Friends, somewhere on the ground, it was like right here. They were kind of moving like this. And they got to about right here, friends. They got right about here. Because, friends, when I shined my light over there, friends, it was the weirdest thing. When I shined the light over there, I saw the eyes, and then I turned the light over this way, and then I had the light shining this way, and then I glanced back, and they were still moving. It was dark. You couldn't see the little pillars there. So they started gaining speed. So, friends, I can't explain it. My first thought was it was an animal. I was going to get bitten. So, friends, this is what I did. I just started running as fast as I could. My legs are sore from how fast I was running. Friends, I don't know how I didn't trip on this stuff. As fast as I could, friends. Friends, right about here, my legs started giving out. And I just about fell. But I picked myself up. And I ran, and I ran, and I ran. And I looked back, and they were behind me, friends. And I came to my truck. And then I started my live stream in my truck. I turned my truck on. I pulled my truck over like this. Friends, I didn't know what to think. I turned. I didn't know if they were like gonna get in my truck, start banging on it. But then, friends, I got it right about here. And then I mustered the courage. Friends, it was pitch black out here. And then I pulled my truck right here. Go look at my live stream. And I had my light shining. And I backed my truck up. Just like this. And then, friends, I got out of my truck with my bat. Just like this. What in the hell was that? What in the hell? Friends, I think whatever they were, they chased me. They chased me out of here. Uh-oh. Come on, friends. Let's go back down there. Friends, what do y'all think it was? You think it was just some animals chasing me? I mean, friends, I'm a spiritual man. You know, I understand that the devil don't like that I've got spiritual, because he had a lot of grip on me. And friends, I told y'all that an angel did visit me as a child. That is a true damn story. It didn't make sense. I didn't really understand it until the last couple years. But what I get out of it now is the angel's the messenger. And when I was a child, I was scared to death of the dark. I had things like that torment me when I was a little child. I used to think there was hands going to get me from under the bed. And I used to put my stuffed animals all around the bed. But friends, I was out here last Saturday, a week ago, yesterday, and I was cleaning this place up. And friends, right over here, right over there is where those things appeared. Friends, they didn't make a sound. They did not make one sound. That's why I was terrified. Because I know raccoons are sneaky, but friends, there's leaves, and you would have heard a little rustling. Friends, like literally right over here is where these 3 eyes, there were 3 glowing red eyes, they appeared. Friends, I'm getting back in shape, I told you. Friends, even the lizard right there has made a little noise. Let's see if we can see any tracks or anything. Maybe I see some raccoon tracks. Well, there's something. That's going the wrong way. Friends, they literally appeared from like right over here. Because I thought they had come out of the woods here. Look at this. You're going to make a noise. There's been a lot of vehicles out here. Friends, could have been an animal drawn to my light. Usually animals will run away from lights. Because friends, this is how I saw it. This is what they were about this level on the ground, moving like this. Zigzagging. They were zigzagging, friends, like this. Friends, I do not know how I didn't bust and trip and fall and land headfirst in one of these stones. But friends, I had to come back out here today because that's what I do. I recreate it. Because when you experience something like that, or like at the Veterans Park, when Mr. HK was put on the golf cart so unrighteously, well, friends, you got to come out. You got to come back out as soon as you can, because your memories will start fading. They'll start fading, and then you might have a distorted memory. Friends, look at all these holes I could have fell in. I mean, I went 100 miles an hour back to my truck. Whatever that was, it did. It terrified the hell out of me. Because it didn't make a sound. It didn't growl. I didn't hear any. It was like floating, like a demon crawling on the ground. And friends, whatever it was 3 of them. 3 of them. It's like a tissue. The tissue lady was out here. Corporal Stevens. Collect that up for evidence, that damn tissue lady. Friends, it is true. When I went to the 13th Judicial Court last year to plead my case, friends, I wasn't able to go to court, is what I'm telling you. I didn't get the paperwork, and then there was a hurricane, and then, I didn't know about the hover. So, friends, when I got served the final junction, I was like, what the hell is this? They're like, oh, you can't see your children for a year. The lady got all the power. So, friends, I went back down there the next day, and they laughed at me. They laughed at me, everybody. And then I was like waiting in line, and there was a lady at the counter, a little short demon-looking lady, and she was just coaching this big old fat lady, like, oh yeah, you go in there and just exaggerate it and start crying. If you can get some tears, it'll really help out. And she says, would you like a tissue? And she like handed her a box, and they were laughing. And friends, I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, like I got to go up next and deal with this lady. And the lady was laughing like, oh, here's a tissue, here. Oh. Because friends, I was staring right at him, and then we locked eyes. And then when I walked up to the counter, I said, look, lady, I'm going to need that whole damn box of tissues when I'm done with you. And friends, the lady did. She handed me the whole box. I mean, friends, it's evil. What's going on is evil. What my wife has done is evil, friends. There is no other explanation other than evil. Friends, I can't get nothing out of it. Friends, we do the talking parenting app, but there ain't no talking. It's just, she don't want to talk. Isn't that what that app's about? We're supposed to communicate, and that's a safe place where we can talk about the children and kind of talk about things and plan, not heavy things. Friends, she don't want to talk about nothing on there. She don't want to talk about nothing, friends. It's just the children will call you at 6 p.m. and that's it. I mean, come on, it's a talking parenting app, right? Look, friends, I told you there was a garage sale right after church. Friends, for $20, I got three fishing poles, friends. And I got some string. I'm gonna work on them out here. Look at this, friend. The guy, his name was, well, I don't remember. He was a friend. The man didn't speak English. He spoke a little bit, but I didn't judge the feller. $20. I got all these round reels. Oh my gosh, friends, this is a Bass Pro Shop one. Holy smokes, friends. The treasures, friends, the treasures, the blessings. And look, friends, I got another one here. What is this? Look, it's cool. It comes with your little kit. $20, friends, $20. Because, friends, I'm going to have my children here in a couple of weeks. Friends, I don't see any reason. Friends, help me understand this. Friends, what reason would Judge Peroni have to keep this nonsense going and keep pretending that my wife's some sort of a victim? Friends, I got Ring camera. The lady's in so much damn hot water, and she knows that. That's why she's just being straightforward in these parenting apps, because she thinks a couple of messages I sit in there are going to get her out of the hot water. No, that's a parenting app. We're supposed to talk in there, not about all the problems and stuff, but we're supposed to talk about the children. And friends, her domestic violence, it's clear as day, friends. We got all the Ring camera. I got the bottles of wine. Friends, I got to go. We don't have reception out here. But friends, I just wanted to come out here and show you. Something manifested last night. It was three demon eyes. And they were like, friends, they weren't as low. Friends, I thought it was a hog. Friends, a raccoon's low. A raccoon's down here. Friends, these were like, the eyes were like 2 or 3 feet off the ground. That's why I thought it was either a coyote or a hog, a wild hog. But friends, they didn't make any noise. They didn't make any sound at all. And that's when I said, holy smokes, get the hell out of here. Friends, I did 100 miles an hour to the truck. Friends, I don't mess with the damn ghost. I don't want to mess with the damn ghost. The only ghost I want to mess around was the Holy Ghost. And that Holy Ghost said, you get on out of here, my son. I wanted to show you that all this is real. And it is, friends. So look, friends, I got to go. I mean, for real, friends, I got to go take another squirt. I've been hydrating, drinking coffee all day. Look, friends, I'm going to do a quick little police call. Look, friends, I forgot to tell you. Somebody donated $50 to the ministry. I don't know who you are. I'm going to find out. I'm going to get you a nice tax write-off. Oh, my gosh, friends, you just gave me like a tank of gas. Friends, I can't believe it. Like, literally, I've been complaining for like 2 weeks, and I saw there was like $50 in the account. And I thought the wife had just left it there, and she didn't want to steal it because she knows it's the ministry account. But, friends, one of y'all stepped up to the plate, and you took that big old swing, and you knocked a home run, friends. You hooked up your Sergeant Major with my first $50 donation, friends. Now I got to do my tax. Now I got to file the tax that somebody donated some money. It's okay, friends. It's a ministry. It's what we're here for. All right, look, friends, I got to go. Y'all stay groovy. Now, friends, I got to go because I don't want to be out here when that sun goes down again, friends. Those demons are real. And they were out to scare me last night, friends, and they did. But I told you, I started praying, and then I got the peace. All right, friends, I'll check you out later on. I got to do another counseling with Dr. Excalibur over yonder. Friends, he's a really good mental health counselor, don't y'all think? I mean, he's highly trained, and he only deals with the combat soldiers that have the loony wives that want to do all the evil on us. I told you, he's very thorough, too. He got that Jessica Marchalewski. I mean, yeah, that lady didn't have parental rights for a year because all the horrible things that she did to my buddy. And Mr. Dr. Excalibur is going to do all the same recommendations for me, friends. So look, friends, I'll check you out later. Y'all stay groovy. Grizzle 6 out. I said Grizzle 6 out. Come on now.